Hey there, Cheryl here. I have a quick question for you. I'm wondering if you feel like in your leadership that you are a trusted go-to person. In other words, like your leadership trusts you and they know that you're going to get the job done, but you don't feel like a confidant or advisor. And the reason why I'm asking this is because I truly believe in my heart that the course correction that's going to happen in our companies in the world right now, it's going to happen collectively by women in leadership. And so this is going to be an invitation to you to think about if there are any ways that you can stop playing small and influence up. And you know, this might sound a little off-putting at first, but it's absolutely said with the utmost care and respect, because I know that your voice matters now more than ever. And I know if you've been around this community for a while, you are very respected by your team, you are confident in your leadership, but there's a possibility that you are not being heard, valued, and respected enough by your peers and your leadership. So here's the thing. I want to make sure that you get crystal clear how you want to feel next year as you're in the planning phase. What is the legacy that you want to create for yourself? And most importantly, right now, what are you feeling in your gut and in your heart, or what are you frustrated about that you know is within you, but you're just not able to get others on board, or others you feel like are just not championing your efforts? So here's the thing. Maybe you have ideas that you haven't shared, or you have shared and they're falling on deaf ears. Maybe you've been pushed outside of your highest sense of integrity by someone else. And maybe you are really feeling pressure to do something that you know in your gut and your heart is not right to do. And possibly that you've tried to influence up, or you've tried to influence your peers, but it is just falling on deaf ears. Here's the thing. I am bringing this up because you have something special placed within you. And if you are at all feeling uncomfortable or frustrated, or like you have a bigger voice and a bigger job to do, even though you've already climbed so many amazing mountains to get where you're at, today's conversation is about how to influence up. And this is collectively going to be so important here in Q4, in the planning phase, and of course, as we go into next year. So there's going to be a lot of content coming out about this, another life masterclass at the end of the month. But leading up to that, here's what I'd love to invite you to do. If you can jot down on a piece of paper 3, 4, 5, 10 things that you've accomplished in the last 8 months, because where this all starts is from compassion, self-compassion, and self-realization of the good that you've already put into the world, in your career, in your workplace, but of course in your family as well. So write that down, and I want you to take it a step further and vocalize it to someone that you're close to, someone that you trust, someone in your family, or a really close colleague that you would like to share this with. Because understanding and hearing our voice is so important. We lose sight of the mountains that we've climbed. And when we start thinking about our impact and our legacy, and how do we want our companies to be different because of us, and who and how are we going to push leadership to innovate, to do the right thing, to come up to our perspective, to be more bold and influencing up, we must start by really acknowledging things that we have already done. So please, when this video is done, jot down a few things. Share it verbally, not by text, not by email, but verbally, because the voice that you've been listening to the longest is your own. And a really crazy thing happens when you write these things down and verbalize it. And I would love to have you email me directly to let me know how this goes, because you will have a huge aha moment and you will realize that you're putting more good into the world than probably you even imagine. Now, here's the thing. Looking forward, after you get this done, I want you to think about and write down one thing or one area where you feel like maybe you've been playing small. In other words, one area where in your gut, in your heart, you know that you need to speak up more. You know that maybe if you are speaking up and it's falling on deaf ears, you must find another way. So write that down, because we're going to be able to gain clarity around that, put an action plan around that, and learn some new tools around that in the coming weeks. But first, I want you to think that through and then think about, what is the feeling I want to have? What is my message? Why do I care about it? And who is most important for this to hear this? And then finally write down, what is my big ask? So in other words, if you need to align with someone else, who is that and what is your big ask? And this should be someone that's not a comfortable and a shoe-in that's a yes. This should be someone that you're like, oh, if I went to that person, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to go to that person because I don't think that they're going to help me out. I want the ask to be a big one, okay? So here's the thing. Just to recap, you're going to write down between 3 and 5 major accomplishments, major or minor accomplishments that you've done in your career or in your life the last 6 to 8 months. And then you're also going to write down one area where maybe you've been playing small with your leadership or with your peers, or maybe you've truly been trying but not getting the traction that you want and deserve. And then finally, the one big ask. Who is the one person you could align with that scares you a little bit to ask them, but can make a huge difference? So here's to you being amazing. I look forward to bringing you a live masterclass on this in the coming weeks. Please do email me directly at Sheryl@SherylKline.com with any questions or comments, and keep up your amazing work to your continued empowerment.